So now I'm getting ready to pressure test my supply lines that go in the wall so I can start covering walls up. So I've got my hot water plugged with just a plug on the end of it. I'm going to be able to do my hot water and cold water at the same time. And my cold water, I'm getting ready to take the gauge off my radiant floor heat tubing and put it on this blue line. And then the red and blue lines are connected at the shower valve, which doesn't actually have a valve in it yet. It's just an open container. It runs through the cold to the hot and also to the shower head and the tub spigot. And I put over 60 pounds in it. I'll leave this on probably overnight and see if it comes down at all. And then I'll be ready to close up these walls if it doesn't. Well, it's the next morning and we must have a decent leak. We're down to less than 30 psi and I had it up over 60. So it's time to troubleshoot. Well, when I was doing the pressure testing, I had persistent leaks, and luckily none of them were where the crimp fittings are, because that wouldn't have been fun to try to fix probably. But they were all on threaded fittings, and like for this plug right here, that one was leaking, and both of these were leaking where I got the cap on it and then where it was plugged into this fitting. And I had, I believe this top fitting was leaking. So I had to take all those back apart. I just used Teflon tape, and I've used it a lot before and it worked fine, but for some reason it's not working very well in this place. So I went with putty type thread sealant.
Good morning. Charles has been working on the pressure test for the plumbing in the yurt, and he's been struggling to find and fix the leaks, and we're going to find out how it's doing.
Oh, it may be good. Thank goodness. From the beginning.
Back when we had to decide what to do for a pocket door, buy one or build one.
So I've decided to make a door. And it'll be just made out of the same tongue and groove we're doing the walls out of. But I'm making it a little more unique by making the panels in the middle of the door will be diagonal. So I'm just getting it laid out, trying to figure out how I need to glue it up.
Well, we're ready to seal the walls. We tried putting this on a scrap piece of wood just to see what it would look like, and it's invisible, which is a little surprising and maybe hard to make sure it's covered, but we'll see what we can do. Well, this stuff is not too hard to work with. It's pretty thin and not too stinky. And to show you how transparent it is, I want you to guess which side I've done and which side I have not yet touched. I've done half of it, so guess which half.
That half.
Charles can vouch for the fact that the left side is in fact done, and then the right side is not done at all. And I don't know if you can tell the difference, but I sure can't. Well, Charles has finished gluing up the door panels, but it was pretty rainy yesterday. He's waiting for a nice day to cut them outside. So now he's turned to the duct work.
I'm getting duct work in the walls so I can put wood on the walls, get this closed up. This will be the ducts from the bathroom exhaust fan and eventually the fan that goes to the microwave for cooking.
So I brought you under the yurt to see two things. One is the metal pipe there. That's the duct that Charles was working on inside. It's obviously got a little bit of finishing up to do outside. And next to that, you can see this white pipe going straight into the ground. That is the exit for all of the plumbing vent system.
Some of you have asked about the main vent, plumbing vent in the yurt and how it was going to go through the roof or through the wall, but it's not going to go through either. It's going up over our wall and back over and back down through the floor and then back down and into the woods. All right, I'm ready for all the criticisms out there. So the main vent normally on the house goes straight out the roof, and this one is not going straight out the roof. The yurt company says they don't like anything going through the roof, and I don't blame them. I wouldn't either. It's a membrane roof. It'd be hard to make sure it stayed waterproof, and then you got a hole in your roof. So this vent comes out the top of the wall, and I put a clean out here just in case we ever need to get from here and clean it down to the bottom. And from this is the high point of the vent here, and so now it slopes down and goes back down this back wall and back through the bottom of the yurt and underground and then out to the cliff next to the yurt, out over the cliff. And the pipe is always going downhill, so water can never collect in here, and air can run through there just as easy as it went out the roof.
So this is off the ground. There will be something under it to support it a little better. Good afternoon. Today we glued the two pocket door panels together, and Charles asked for help because he was in a race against time to spread out the glue on both panels before it started to set. Charles is putting every single clamp that he owns on these doors, and he still wishes he had a few more. After this dries solid, he will make a frame to go around the outside edge, which you will see in a future episode.